Hello, and welcome all you lovely people. Sorry for that close-up there. Today I will be going over something that I have never done before, and I hope you all enjoy it. It is the case of Bogle and Kalitzke. It's a really sad story, and I'm glad that we now know, who it was. And without spoiling it further, let's get into it. In 1956, three boys from Montana were hiking out on a nice day in January. Little did they know what they would find and that it would shake them to their core. On their hike near Sun River, they would come across a body, the body of Lloyd Dwayne Bogle. They would find him next to his car, face down, with a bullet wound in his head and his hands tied behind his back with his own belt. Unfortunately, his 16-year-old girlfriend, Patricia, my bad, I'm sorry, I suck at reading names. Patricia Kalitzke would be discovered the next day by a county road worker in the area north of Great Falls, which is kind of key to some things. She, like her boyfriend, also suffered a gunshot wound to the head, but more unfortunately, she had been SA'd, which I hope you know what that means. If you don't, I would suggest looking it up. Not a great thing to happen to anyone, no matter who you are, and not a great thing to do to anyone. And until more recently, no one knew who or why this horrible nightmare had happened. And luckily, we do know this now, but I can't imagine how their family was feeling, for years not knowing why this thing could happen, to their loved ones. I couldn't imagine, and my sympathy goes out to them because no one should have to go through this. Bogle was an airman from Texas. His girlfriend was a junior at Great Falls High School. They met and fell in love and were even discussing getting married. But their love would soon be ripped right out from underneath of them when one day in Lover's Lane, a man named Kenneth Gould, I think, could not control his disgusting urges, which I do not care if I say his name right or not. He does not deserve to get his name said properly because of what he did. After this gruesome and horrific event, Gould went home to his wife and children, never for them to know till years later what horrific things their father had done, which I can't even begin to imagine what that's like. It's like, oh, hey, we're a family. I just went out and, destroyed two families, but it's fine. It was just a normal day at the office, sweetie. And nobody knew till after he was, and it's like, they just lived with that. And it's like, how do you go about that? And how do you live with yourself after doing that? It's like, it just felt like it's I don't know. Anyway, I need to focus. Let's get back into it. So, unfortunately, it would take law enforcement 60 years to find out what exactly had happened. And in 2012, the case was handed over to Sergeant John Cadner, but with all the information that was given, the case was proved too difficult task at this time with lack of forensic knowledge. Cadner stated, "My first impression was the only way we're gonna ever solve this is through the use of DNA." And he was correct. Pause for dramatic irony. In Kalitzke's autopsies, coroners had taken swabs of the killer's discharge. Yeah, I'll let you figure that out. And were able to preserve it in a microscopic slide. And in 2001, Phil Matson, a detective, sent a sample to a local lab for testing, which, something I forgot to put in my notes, but I'll say it here, is, that they weren't sure whether it was, the killer's or whether it was her boyfriend's, so that first, lab that they sent it to, they just wanted to see if they had something, which they did. So, but I just wanted to quick throw that in there. What they had found had obviously belonged to the killer, and armed with this information, Cadner in 2019 gave the sample to Bogle Technology, and eventually forensic genealogists were able to use his DNA and was able to lead his children. It was able to lead to his children, who gave police a DNA sample, and they were able to match it with the killer's, which that had to be hard for, his kids sitting at home and just to just find out that your dad did something so horrific and then just, pretended like it was nothing. And honestly, I think some sympathy should go out to the killer's family, because they had nothing to do with it. If they could choose and they could have stopped him, I'm sure they would have, because no person in their right sane mind would just allow that. So anyway, sorry, I keep rambling, but anywho, unfortunately, Gold died in 2007 and could not be brought to justice. But hopefully, through this discovery, Bogle and Kalitzke can finally rest in peace. And I really hope they can. I know there's not much, solace after a while, that you can do, because, in those cases, the family members that were hurt the most by all of this have passed on, and they can't, they don't have that, I can't remember the word, but they don't have that sense of, justice of knowing who and why all of this happened, and I think that's really sad. But it is nice that their family members now can know at least who did it. We don't really know why, or at least I didn't find anything on it, but I really hope that their family can find peace. And that is the end of the video. I know it was short and sweet. If you all want to see more like this, just kind of let me know. This is my first time trying something like this. I see stuff like this a lot, and I watch it a lot, and I enjoy it, and just kind of, I'm trying to get back into YouTube. I know I used to do hair stuff before this, a while ago, but I haven't been able to do that as of recently, so just wanted to try something new, and I really hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in my next video or short. Keep a lookout. I try and post shorts every Sunday of my crafts or something I'm selling. I got these, cute earrings that I made, and that should be up on Etsy, available for purchase soon. And yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Watch your back. Careful. You never know who's looking at you, ready to shoot you. So, be prepared. Love y'all. Bye!